Not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time.
We'll tell you why the U.S. President Donald Trump has lost his cool. These and more with me, Hannah Odame. This is Joy News. We are independent, fearless, and credible. Thanks for choosing us. This afternoon, Ghana's embassy in Washington, D.C., United States of America, has been shut down temporarily after some staff were allegedly caught up in corrupt and fraudulent schemes. Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who ordered the closure, explained a staff there charged unapproved fees of up to $60 to offer services to clients at the blind side of the Foreign Ministry. Well, Kwekwa Santi of our Legal Affairs Desk joins me in the studio with more from the details that were shared by the minister. First, tell us the details of the supposed corrupt activities at the embassy, Kwekwa.
So according to Foreign Minister, he says, with the firm support of President Mahama, I have carried out the following drastic and decisive action following the damning findings of a special team I put together a couple of months ago to investigate alleged corrupt practices at the embassy in Washington, D.C. He says, Mr. Kwatin, a local staff recruited on August 11, 2017 to work on the embassy's IT department. According to findings and his own admission, he created an unauthorized link on the embassy's website which diverted visa and passport applicants to his company, Ghana Travel Consultants, where he charged extra for multiple services on the blind side of the ministry and kept the entire proceeds in his private account. His illegal extra charges, which were not approved by the ministry and parliament as required by the Fees and Charges Act, ranges from $29.75 to $60 per applicant. The investigations reveal that he and his collaborators operated this illegal scheme for at least 5 years.
Well, the minister has announced a raft of measures. What are they?
First, this matter has been referred also to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and retrieval of funds obtained through what the minister described as fraudulent schemes. Then all Ministry of Foreign Affairs staff who have been posted to Washington, D.C. have all now been recalled home with immediate effect. The embassy's IT department has been dissolved. All locally recruited staff at the embassy have also been suspended, and the Auditor General has been invited to conduct forensic examination of all transactions and determine the total cost of the elaborate scheme. And this is the big one. The embassy in Washington, D.C. shall be closed for a few days from today as we finalize the ongoing restructuring and systems overhaul. He says all inconvenience that these radical measures may have caused are regretted.
But aside all these measures, there are still calls for more severe action to be taken, including reporting this to the U.S. authorities. What do you know about that?
Well, yes, according to Oliver Bakavama, who used to work for the Foreign Ministry a couple of years ago, he says this matter should actually be reported to the U.S. government for what he described as the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, to be used. And he said the U.S. authorities must be officially notified and invited to investigate the scale of the fraud, its international dimensions, and the use of embassy resources to facilitate extortion of vulnerable diplomatic applicants and make this a matter of serious diplomatic and criminal concerns. He says involving U.S. authorities will allow the U.S. to follow the money, freeze the assets, and extradite if necessary.
Thank you very much. Quick question with our Legal Affairs Desk there. Well, the minority in Parliament are firing the minister, accusing him of being undiplomatic with diplomatic issues. Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to the Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafo-J. He's also the MP for Busomi Freho. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Well, you don't seem to be excited about this. Why are you not pleased by the reaction of the minister?
Thank you and good afternoon. Let me first and foremost place on record that the minority is not against the sanctions or the measures that are being taken to reprimand or to, punish wrongdoers. Never. We are not against that. But you see, we feel that there should have been so much more consultation, so much more diplomacy and tactfulness to this whole matter. Now, the embassies are not only for visa or for passport works. The embassy goes beyond the visa and passport works. You see, the embassy largely serves as a critical platform for a lot of diplomacy work. We have trade attaches in the embassies. We do scholarship activities in the embassies. Mm-hmm. There's a whole lot of strategic dealings that goes on in the embassy. So for you to come out and say that because of a certain fraud allegation, you are closing the entire embassy, that is an embodiment of a country in another man's land, that we disagree. No. I mean, we could have done this without closing the embassies. That is one major issue the minority has against the decision that have been taken by the.
But then this closure is just temporal. So why not allow for the investigation? After that, it's opened.
Have you costed? Hold on. Have you costed the cost that would the closure for temporarily cost to the country? Have you imagined or averted your mind to the diplomatic relations that this temporal, so-called temporal, will affect the country? You have not. Again, now, you see, our point is basically simple. We are saying that you have some stuff in Washington. Mm-hmm. Something happened. You've done your investigation. You've come out with your findings. You did not inform them officially.
Investigations are still ongoing, as he says. So, and Parliament resumes tomorrow. So then what does your side plan to do? What action do you intend to take?
If investigations are going on, why do you write on social media? That is our point. We believe that this that the minister has done would cause a lot of damage to the reputation of the country.
Why do you see a problem with the minister publicly communicating this decision to the Ghanaian people?
I think stakeholders would be comfortable dealing with an embassy that no less a person, the minister, has declared that embassy as a fraudulent area and has closed it down. You think US as a state will be comfortable dealing with you coming from the minister?
Well, finally and briefly, would you tell us what Parliament would do, your side would do, when Parliament resumes tomorrow?
I didn't hear your question. Come back again.
I asked that Parliament resumes tomorrow. What will your side do about this particular incident?
No worry, we are still consulting. But our preliminary issues are what I've put out. We feel that the minister should have applied some tactfulness to dealing with this without coming out largely with all these things and closure of the minister.
Hopefully we get to hear from you tomorrow when Parliament resumes. We hear the Deputy Ranking Member on the Foreign Affairs Committee, Nana Asafweji, there. Let's move on to other stories. And former board chairman of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Professor Ameyaw Ekumfi, has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts, including willfully concealing financial loss to the state in the ongoing Urban Sky Train trial. Professor Ekumfi is standing trial together with the former CEO of the investment fund, Solomon Asamoah, for their involvement in the questionable payment of some $2 million for the undelivered urban train system. Latif Idris is on the beats for us. Now, Latif, bring us to speed with events in the court this morning. Latif, can you hear me? Hello, Latif. We'll try to work the phone lines and bring Latif back to this particular issue of the former board chairman of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Professor Ameyaw Ekumfi. Let's go to the Ashanti region, and the MPP's regional chairman there, Bernard Enchibuesiako, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has turned himself in to the police who are reportedly investigating him for alleged involvement in illegal mining and other offences. Officers of the National Intelligence Bureau last Friday attempted and failed to execute a search warrant at the Kumasi residence of Chairman Wuntumi. We'll speak to a member of his legal team shortly, but first, here's a report by Elton Brobe capturing events from Friday.
National security operative, heavily armed and acting on a court-approved search warrant, attempted to enter the residence of Ashanti Regional MPP Chairman Bernard Enchibuesiako, also known as Wuntumi, on Friday, May 23rd. The operation was minutes away from potential arrest when Wuntumi cried out. His call quickly drew a crowd of MPP sympathizers to his Kumasi residence. A standoff ensued, prompting negotiations between the operatives and Wontumi legal team. The operative withdrew, and Wontumi lawyers agreed to present him to the police today.
I spoke to the National Security Officer, Commander. He said, due to his refusal, they have invited him to come. And so they have agreed that on Monday we should produce him.
Joy News is learning that the state is pursuing Bernard Ntwibosiakon for his alleged involvement in illegal mining activities through his company, Akonta Mining. Earlier this month, Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua announced the termination of Akonta Mining lease. Wontumi, however, is challenging the cancellation in court. His lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, is surprised at the turn of events.
When somebody is asleep and a team of about 20 security personnel confronts you in the early morning like that in itself can constitute a breach.
But Deputy Interior Minister Ebenezer Telabi insists the move is lawful and part of due process.
They should go to court if they think that what is going on is wrong. But that will not stop the security services from doing their duty.
Elton Brobe for Joy News.
And there's some developments, and member of our legal affairs desk, Kweku Asante, is in the studio with us. What are we learning, Kweku?
So we understand this morning, Chairman Wontumi himself came all the way from the Ashanti region to the Ghana Police Service headquarters to turn himself in on this matter. We understand he is there with a crack team of lawyers who are still being questioned or being spoken to by the police CID and other police officials. In the subsequent hours, we'll get to know whether the police will be charging him with a crime or what exactly they are going to do. But we know, and we can confirm, that Chairman Wontumi and his lawyers have been at the Ghana Police Service headquarters where they are currently being questioned.
From the studios, let's go back to the phone lines and speak to Lateef Idris, who is at the courts, where the former board chairman of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Professor Ameyawe Kofi, has pleaded not guilty to 4 counts, including willfully causing financial loss to the state in the ongoing Urban Sky train trial. So bring us to speed of events in the court, Lateef.
Yeah, so if you recall, last 2 weeks, for the first accused person in this particular case, Solomon Asamoah, was taken. The explanation given by lawyers for Professor Ameyawe Kofi was that he was at the University of Ghana Medical Center and he'd undergone some procedure. Today, he appeared in a wheelchair with a walking stick. He also had some tape strapped around his wrist, suggesting that he was just coming out from the hospital. His plea was taken in all counts, including causing financial loss to the state and willfully dissipating public funds. Professor Ameyawe Kofi pleaded not guilty to all 4 counts. He's thus been granted a 10 million Ghana cedis bail with 2 sureties, all to be justified with properties in Accra. He is expected to turn in his traveling documents to the court registry and report to the police at least once every week. The sureties are also expected to provide their digital address system to the court in order for this bail condition to be executed. As we speak, we are unable to tell whether Professor Ameyawe Kofi has been able to meet the bail condition or otherwise.
Thank you very much, Lateef Idris there. Let's move to other stories. And pavements of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra are largely empty today, with a few traders slowly returning. It follows last week's decongestion exercise, which cleared the traders off the streets as well as other unauthorized areas. Over the weekend, the traders returned in their numbers but have since vacated. And my colleague Collins Frimpong visited the Kwame Nkrumah Circle and joins us on the phone lines for more. What have been your observations so far, Collins?
Hannah, so this morning we've been to the Circle interchange where the decongestion occurred, and one of the observations that we made was that some traders have begun reoccupying sections of the pavement originally cleared for pedestrian use, and also they are selling a variety of items. And initially, according to the traders, the AMA had informed them that designated selling areas will be marked with red lines on the pavement to guide where they could operate. But that is not the situation, as the red mark has not been done yet, and they have started trading over there. We engage some of them.
Hunyama kwa me koto to bla me tenafia me nyeska makase me de air support. What you say? Nti no pamondo ma pamo e be den ya yeso ya tena ha che no mo hu ye ne bebi akọ. Nti at Taliban ho santi omo ba na omo du ha ne ya from so ye wa ha no maba. Obu akọ so ha ye pete mu nti no oma. Ifu from ne dia. Den kakra se be ne den.
Yenti ama ba ne se no mo so mba be susu no mama ye line. To so me ba na be hu bebi a on be ma ye. Den nti na ya ba na e twen wo. Oh, unse mashishe ni customers for no ha me den na me ba o mo se chinchi on beta de. Ti na mashishe kakra o mo ta de kakra. Ya tire place ya tuizi to se me ma ba ide o mo to bi ta. Oh, so mo ba bantie o mo ntwen ye mu tie twen.
We have stayed here for long. We are here now for like 2 years. You understand? So we don't have any other place to go except here.
Well, Collins, translate briefly for us what the traders told you.
One said they have no place to go and she cannot stay home while her children have resumed school and she needs to take care of them. That's why she has returned to the area. The other woman also indicated that she has returned because that's where her customers know to find her, and moving away to elsewhere will mean losing them. So that's the situation.
And have you seen the AMA task force around?
Yes. So unlike the Circle VIP station pavement where they've returned and selling around, and some also selling under the flyover, when you move to the Circle VIP bus terminal, bus stop, you will find task force from the AMA, including the national security that they stationed there. And this morning, they've begun some cleanup exercise to ensure that the place is kept clean and no one also returns to site. When we engage some of the officials, what they told us is that the task force are going to be stationed there throughout the whole day. And when the task force leaves, the national security will also be moved to the area.
Thank you very much, Collins Frimpon there. We'll take a short break here. When we come back, fares reduced by 15% as commercial drivers ask for reduction in other accessories.
We started it on Saturday.
I see that this is 6 CDs. How much was it initially?
It was 7 CDs.
So it's just 1 CD reduction?
Yes.
Is that the 15% we are seeing?
It depends on the fare.
And later?
I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time.
We'll tell you why the U.S. President Donald Trump has lost his cool.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
The EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair 2025. Dream it. Own it. Live it. Coming soon.
You're welcome back, and we have some sports with Mubarak.
Yes, and also Deputy Captain Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, Antoine Semenyo, and Inaki Williams have been left out of Ghana's 23-man squad for the upcoming 2025 Unity Cup. Now, Barcelona youngster Abdul Aziz Issa and Mohamed Fuseni of Union SG are among the 5 debutants named in the squad. Asante Kotoko forward Kwame Opoku returns to the squad for the first time in 4 years and is one of the 4 home-based players selected. Salis Abdul Samed, Majid Ashimero and Felix Afenajan are the other notable returnees. Now, the team captained by Jordan Ayew will face Nigeria on Wednesday in their Unity Cup opener.
Thank you very much, Mubarak, for sports. Let's move on. And checks by Joy News have indicated some commercial drivers have reduced their fares, but not by 15% as directed by the leaders of the transport unions. The reduction, based on the appreciation of the city, was expected to bring some relief to commuters. Well, my colleague Sweetie Abochi was on the grounds earlier today and realized though the drivers had reduced the fares, it was not by the required percentage. The drivers explained why to her.
We started it on Saturday.
I see that this is 6 cedis. How much was it initially?
It was 7 cedis.
So it's just 1 cedi reduction?
Yes.
Is that the 15% we are seeing?
It depends on the fare, because if we are deducting the 15%, we might take 5 cedi, 50 pesos. But it depends on the journey, the distance that we are and the fare to. That's why we deduct 1 cedi.
And can because the original
and he's saying that although they are implementing that 15% reduction, they are not particularly excited about it, because when you look at the factors that goes into the transport fares, and it's not just the fuel and the spare parts that inflate the prices. And so, I mean, be that as it may, they've reduced it and everything seems to be going well.
But almost but in your phone,
meanwhile, some passengers who spoke to Joy News say though the reduction is not 15%, they are excited about what they are currently paying.
It's not yet 15%. Some are still, and previously it was 8 cedis. I paid from Teshi to Circle 7 cedis. But now I just pay for my boy to school. I gave them 10 cedis. They gave me 5 cedis, 50 pesos. So it's not yet 15%. I have no complaint to complain. I just manage that.
I was supposed to pay 10 cedis, but it's 8 cedi, 50 pesos that they took from me this morning. So I think I'm okay with that.
Meanwhile, leaders of the driver unions are asking the drivers to obey or face sanctions. Listen to the deputy spokesperson of the GPRTU, Samuel Amwa.
When we get this information, we first find out from the union leadership as to why they are not doing that. The information we had from them was that the previous increment that we did, they lost some small coins there. That is why this time around they are doing the calculations like that. But we are still asking them to go by what we are asking them to do. We are giving them, hopefully up to tomorrow, we'll make sure that they will go by the directive. Our sanctions will be applied.
Now in Kumasi, the transport operators say they are uncomfortable with a 15% fare reduction, arguing it would not serve their interest. They further say it is unfair for their leaders to compel them to reduce fares when other traders are not reducing prices of goods on the market.
I would be lying if I said we are not affected by the reduction in fares. I am a driver and I have to buy brake fluid. It used to cost 7 cedis, but now it's 40 cedis. Why is it that the person selling it hasn't reduced their price, but drivers are expected to lower theirs? Initially, the fare from Tech to Obuakwa was 11 Ghana cedis, but it's now 9 cedis 50 pesos.
Meanwhile, President Mahama has praised businesses which have reduced prices of goods on the market. He spoke at the Ghana CEOs Summit a while ago.
And work to maintain a conducive environment for your businesses to thrive. Let me take the opportunity to commend those of you who have responded to the city's appreciation by reducing prices of your products and services and thereby passing some of the relief from the hardship to Ghanaians. And so, Oka and all of you, thank you very much. GPR to you, thank you very much. And so, for those of you who have not responded yet, please pass on some of the CD appreciation to Ghanaians. The time has come for us to lift the gloom, to restore confidence, and to build again. And as I said in my inauguration, Ghana is open for business again.
To another president, this time President Donald Trump. Now he says Russian President Vladimir Putin has gone absolutely crazy and that he is not happy with what Mr. Putin is doing after Russia launched its largest aerial attack of its 3-year war on Ukraine overnight.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him. But he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
U.S. President Donald Trump there. And it's time for trends?
Yes, Hannah.
Is this in the trends?
Of course. Well, not the top of the list.
Yeah.
But number one in the trends is the corruption in the U.S. embassy, Ghana's embassy in the U.S.
I mean, still in the U.S. anyway.
Yeah, still in the U.S.
In the US. I think everybody is quite shocked that, I mean, we thought corruption is just bound, in here.
In Ghana.
Only to find out that it happens elsewhere. Jackie, what's social media saying about that?
Well, Aremi Yao says that he must rather be prosecuted, will not leave no stone unturned. Justice must prevail in due course. And Charisma says that even in South Africa, Ghana Embassy charges high amount of money for passport renewal in South Africa, equivalent to 3,000 Ghana cedis and beyond just for renewal. And all this leads to a corrupt governance, which the government is innocent.
Hannah, another in the trends is the Black Stars. I mean, we'll meet in Nigeria come Wednesday. And guess where the boys are lodging? They're lodging in Clayton Hotel in London. The same hotel that is housed in Manchester City. And so everybody's feeling like, well, perhaps Otoado will go to Pep for some tips. Yeah, we're all excited about that. Let's see how that's...
Do we call that?
And also, I think, Derek,
well,
the names, people that are playing on Wednesday.
Yeah, guess what? The big boys are not part of it.
Yes.
We don't have party, we don't have kudos, And so, yeah, it's making headlines on social media.
Who did you wish was there? That's not.
I really wish Kudus was there. He hasn't had
every
a good season,
every time.
Thank you very much for the Midday News, and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. I am Hannah Odame. You can find more stories on myjoyonline.com.